Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the lecture of Operation Research. In the last lecture, we have started the method to understand for solving an inner product integer programming problem, that is an IPT. And the method we have started is Gomori's cutting plane method. Also, we have studied how to construct a Gomorian constraint. The construction of Gomorian constraint is very easy, and it totally depends upon the nature of the variables, whether it is integer valued or fractional values. Okay. This is what a table, optimal simplex table we have for a general standard linear programming problem. Okay, knowing the values of the variables xbi, we want the values of all these variables xb1, xb2 to xbm to be integer value. For this, we have written the equation for the ith basic variable, that is xbi. Later, by writing the equation in this format, that is equation number 1, we have separated the integer part and the fractional part of both the values of the variables xbi and iij, that is in as ibi plus fbi and iij plus fij. Then we have substituted both the values in this equation number 1 and separated the fractional parts and integer part. Therefore, if we want all the values of the variables to be integer 1, after separating, this left hand side will be integer 1. Therefore, the right hand side must be integer. But this right hand side is actually fbi minus summation fij, which is less than or equals to fbi, but fbi is strictly less than 1. And we know if this quantity fbi minus summation is strictly less than 1 and integer value, the only possibility remains it is either 0 or a negative integer, and this is actually a Gomorian constraint. So for writing this Gomorian constraint as an equation with the help of slack variable gi, then this is the equation we have obtained by number 4, called as a Gomorian constraint or Gomorian equation. Then if you observe this left hand side, which is the value of your Gomorian variable, is going to be negative, therefore it is going to disturb the feasibility of our solution. And once the feasibility disturbed, we know the only method to use to resolve this problem of removing the feasibility is the dual simplex. Therefore, adding this constraint in the last row of the optimal simplex table and using a dual simplex table, dual simplex algorithm, we can solve the given problem. The systematic algorithm given is first step tells us that convert the problem to maximization. If not, then convert all the inequalities to equations. Then test the integrality of the optimum solution. If the optimum solution is integer value, stop the process. That is, the optimum integer basic feasible solution is obtained. If not, we have to go to next step. Then we will examine the constant equation corresponding to optimal solution, and this is the equation xbi equal to. Then among all the xbi which are not integers, we have to select the one value which is giving us the maximum fractional. So for here we are finding maximal fractional. Let this maximal fractional value be obtained for the kth basic variable. That is, kth row will be selected to construct the Gomorian constraint. If any negative fraction is there in the kth row, then express that negative fraction as negative integer plus non-negative fraction. Construct this Gomorian constraint, add it in the last table of simplex method, solve by dual simplex, and check the nature of the solution again. If the solution is all integer, stop the process. If not, you have to repeat the steps until all integer solution is obtained. Okay. Now here is one example I have given you to solve by usual simplex method and check the integrability of the solution. If the values of the variables are integers, no need to use Gomori's cutting plane method as well, right? Therefore, how many of you solved this by usual simplex method? Solved it or not? First question.
Yes, ma'am.
Solved it, no? What is the solution you are getting?
First is z is equal to 63, x2
Good.
is and x2 is equal to x1 is equal to 9 by 2 and x2 is equal to 7 by 2.
Good. Now, assuming all the students have solved this by usual simplex method, can I go directly for the Gomori's cutting plane method?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I will do, solving by usual simplex method, I will just write the last table. Okay. Middle steps you have to complete. I told you already to complete this. Solving the above problem by usual simplex method. Simplex is used only, na? Because both the constant are of place equal type.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
need to go to the game dual, two-phase or dual simplex. In exam, you are not allowed to write directly, na? But it is not possible to write the direct table. You have to solve it by the usual simplex. Optimal simplex table is as follows. We will go to write the table directly. Right? You have to tell me the entries now. Basic variables CB, XB, two original and two added variable, no? X1, X2,
Yes, ma'am.
X3 and X4. Which are the basic variable?
X2, X1.
X2, X1. What is cost? 97.
97.
7x1. What is XB cost?
7 by 2, 9 by 2.
X1 is 0, 1. X2 is 1, 0. Tell me the entries of X3.
7 by 22.
Hmm?
Minus 1 by 22.
What for X4?
1 by 22.
Uh,
3 by 22.
okay, good. And result at this stage is 63, no?
63. Yes, ma'am.
Net evaluations here are 0, 0. What about the net evaluation for X3?
28 upon 11.
And what for X4?
15 by 11.
15, right? I will write the CG entries as well. 7, 9, 0, 0. This is the optimal simplex table obtained by solving the given LPP by usual simplex method. Okay. Now, if we observe the solution, here the optimal solution obtained is x1 equal to 9 by 2, x2 equal to 7 by 2, means clearly it is not integer solution. Clearly it is not an integer solution. Then what is the Gomori's method tells us? In order to convert these not integer values to integer one, we have to construct the Gomorian constraint. Okay. First two steps of Gomori's are not applicable here, na? Because objective function is already in the maxima form. Converting the constant inequalities to equations, we have solved it already. Therefore, we will go directly to the construction of Gomorian constraint, right? Now here, the value of x1 is 9 by 2, x2 is 7 by 2. Therefore, what are their fractional values? What are their fractional values?
1 by 2 is 0.5.
Yeah, it's 0.5. 1 by 2 and 9. This is 4.5 and this is 3.5. Na? 4.5 and 3.5. Now we are going to select a row which gives you the maximum fractional in order to select the row for construction of the Gomorian constraint. Is that okay to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me write. We select constraint corresponding to what? Maximum fractional. Maximum FBI. Okay. How many maximum FBIs we have here? Therefore, let me write maximum over I. Sorry, FBK equal to maximum over I, FBI. Okay, so FBI is actually the fractional part of all the values of the basic variable. Here only two basic we have, therefore only two fractionals will be there, FB1 and FB2. Right now, in short, here I can write what is the value of first basic variable XB1, 7 upon 2, no? Which is 3 plus 1 by 2. And what about XB2? Value of second basic variable 9 by 2 which is actually 4 plus half. Therefore, this is the integer part and this is the fractional part of first basic value of first basic variable. Therefore, what about the values? Both the values now. What is FB1? Is it half? What about
Yes, ma'am.
FB2? Half. Therefore,
Half.
here both the values are same. Therefore, one can select any equation for the construction of the Gomorian construct. Okay. Therefore, here let us select FB1. Okay, that is what is the value of K we have obtained. K is equal to 1. You can select FB2 also. Any one equation one can select. Here I have selected for FB1. Okay. Now let us check first row from x1 to x4. Right. If we observe the first row, whether any negative value is there, negative fraction is there. No, it is
No,
not.
ma'am.
Because if any negative fraction was there, we have to convert it to negative integer plus positive fraction. Here there is no negative fraction is involved. Therefore, we will go directly for the construction of Gomorian construct. Therefore, let me write to construct Gomorian construct. First, I will show you the construction by the formula, and then later I will tell you the shortcut of the construction of Gomorian construct. Shortcut is very easy. Okay. What is the constraint? Minus FBI is equal to minus summation j equals to m plus 1 to n Fij xj. Correct now? Plus the added variable gi. Plus the added variable gi. What is the value of I we are selecting here? First row we are selecting, no? Therefore, let me write all the values. What is m here? M is the number of constraint or number of basic variable. What is the value of m then? Is it 2?
Yes, ma'am.
What is n? N is the total number of variable. Now here we have 2 original and 2 added. Therefore, there are involved 4 variables. Correct, no? The first equation we have selected. Therefore, let me write FBI. FB1 we have selected, no? Therefore, I is equal to 1. Is that okay? Any doubt up to this? And what is the value of FB1? Is it half? Okay. Let us put all the values in the above equation. Therefore, this become minus FB1 is equals to summation j equals to m is 2. Therefore, summation starts with 3. 3 to 4 minus Fij xj plus g1. Is that okay? Now let me run up the summation here, which gives me minus half equals to. For the value of I equals to 1 and j running from 3 to 4 is whether the first term is minus f13 x3, j equals to 3 I have substituted. Next I will substitute j equal to 4. Therefore, this is minus f14 x4 plus g1. This is your constant. Now, what f13 and f14 suggest us? These two suggest the fractional part of the number x13 and x14. Correct, no? Here, f13 and f14 are fractional part of what? x13 and x14. Okay. Now just recall what is the value of x13 and x14 in the table. We have to look at this coefficient matrix. Now this position is 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3 and 1, 4. Is that okay? 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3 and 1, 4. So what is the value of x13? 7 upon 22. x14, 1 upon 22. Correct now? What are their fractional parts? Yes. What are the fractional parts of both the values? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Audible, na? Huh. What are the fractional parts? 7 upon 22 itself is a fraction, no? Yes or no? Whether any integer is included in this?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, therefore the number itself is a fraction. And we will take care that whether it is negative, none of them is negative. Therefore, no need to worry about that. Therefore, what will be the first constraint? First Gomorian constraint. Minus half equal to minus 7 upon 22 x3 minus 1 upon 22 x4 plus g1. Is that okay? Let me call it as statement number 1. Now what we have to do? We have to add this constraint in the optimal simplex table and solve by dual simplex. Add this constraint or add this first Gomorian I will take. Add this first Gomorian constraint in optimal simplex table or previous table you can write. Optimal simplex table and solve by dual simplex method. Solve by dual simplex method. Okay, we will rewrite the table. Basic variable TB, XB, X1, X2, X3, X4 and G1. I don't know whether you have observed or not. Whenever we are writing the column, I am writing capital X symbols because those are going to represent the vector X1. Right? Therefore, for the variable G1, the corresponding capital letter, capital G1 we will use, capital G letter we will use in order to denote its vector. What are the CJ entries? No change. This is 7, 9. Na? 7, 9, 0, 0. What for Gomorian variable? Again, the cost is 0. Now, which are the basic variable? X2, X1, and now this added G1. Because this we are going to use as the last row of the previous table, right? What are the entries for CV? Is it 9, 7, 0? Because there is no role of G1 in the objective function. So the cost of G1 in the objective function is 0. Is that okay? What are the values of XB you have told me? 7 upon 2, 9 upon 2. What is the value of G1? That is right hand side. Actually, it was looking like a left hand side. Or you can reverse it. So the
Minus half.
value of, yes, it is minus half. And if you observe, as the value is minus half, it is disturbing the feasibility, right? No? This is the negative entry. Now we want to remove this negative entry by using the dual simplex table. So let me just write the table what we have previously 0, 1, 1, 0, 7 upon 22. No? Here it is 1 upon 22. Here it is minus 1 upon 22. 3 upon 22. Let me show you how we are adding this constraint. Here is the constraint, right hand side, that is left hand side. Already we have written as the value of a basic variable G1. What is the coefficient of x1 and x2 in this equation? 0, 0.
0.
0.
Therefore, what is the values here? Coefficient of x1 0, coefficient of x3, x2 0. What for x3 and x4? Coefficient of x3 is minus 7 upon 22. For x4, this is minus 1 upon 22. Therefore, this is minus 7 upon 22, 1 upon 22. What is the coefficient of G1? It's 1, na? Plus G1 is there. Right now, this is plus G1. Now, what for the vector G1? What is the role of your variable G1 in the first two constraints?
It's 0.
Yeah, it's 0. Role of G1 variable in first two constraints will be obviously 0. Now you find out the net evaluations. What are the net evaluations? Can anyone tell me? Z is no doubt same, remain with 63. Net evaluations for the two basic variables same. For the third basic variable, that is G1, also 0. We have to calculate for the remaining, but as though we have added the third row, there is no effect because the CB cost is 0. Therefore, whatever the previous net evaluations we have will be going to remain the same. Okay, understood up to this? How we have added the Gomorian constraint in the table, simplex table. Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what we will do? We will try to solve this by dual simplex method. Now let us recall what is dual simplex method. In the dual simplex method, first we have to select the outgoing vector and then incoming vector. What are the formulas we have for incoming and outgoing vector? For outgoing vector, this is most negative xbi, na? Minimum xbi, right? That is a negative. Now if you look at this xb column, xb1 is 7 upon 22, xb2 7 upon 2, xb2 9 upon 2, xb3 is minus half and is the only negative value, the only one negative value. Therefore, surely this variable is going to leave the basis. Correct now?
Yes, ma'am.
What I will do, we will write solve. We will solve by dual simplex method. We will solve by dual simplex method. Now here xb3 equal to minus half. Okay, and this corresponds to G1 is the only negative value. Is the only negative value. Therefore, may I say G1 is outgoing vector or variable. Correct, no? What is the criteria for incoming variable? Ratio we are finding, no? Which ratio we were finding? Delta upon the corresponding negative entry, no?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the value of R here then? Is it 3? Third basic variable is leaving the basis. Therefore, what can I write for delta k upon x3k? And this is actually maximum delta j upon xrj provided, oh, R is 3, no? Therefore, let me write 3. x3j provided x3j is less than 0. Now look at the third row. Look at the third row. How many entries are negative? It is negative, no? Sorry. 2 entries are negative, no? Therefore,
Yes,
2
ma'am.
ratios are going to exist. Which 2 ratios are going to exist? Delta upon the corresponding negative entry, no? I told you the shortcut. Delta upon the corresponding negative entry. This delta upon the corresponding negative entry. Whichever will give us the maximum will be the incoming vector or incoming variable. So let me write, this is maximum. Shall I write only 2 values we have? What are the positions? 3 and 3, 4, na? Therefore, this is a delta 3 upon x33, delta 4 upon x34. Good. Then what is delta 3? 28 by 11. What is x33? Minus 7 upon 22. Delta 4 is 15 by 11. Delta x34 is minus 1 upon 22. Which one is maximum? What is the value of first one?
-8.
This is minus 8 for second. 11 to the 2, 15 to
Minus
the
30.
Minus 30. So minus 8 is maximum and which corresponds to delta 3 upon x33. Correct now?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the value of k you have obtained?
3.
K is 3. That is third variable. What is third variable? x3, no? Will enter the basis. Correct? Let us come here. This third variable is going to enter the basis. Which one will be the pivot element? This entry
Minus
minus 7 upon 22. This will be my pivot. Now what to do? We will convert this pivot to unity, remaining entries to 0. Let us think what are my row operations then. R3 into
Minus
minus
22 upon
by-
7.
Good. Converting the first element to 0.
R1 plus R3.
R1 plus R3. Next for R2. Remember, now converting this second row element, that
minus
is
1
minus
upon
1
it is
yes.
R3 upon 7.
Yes, it is R3 upon 7. Okay. We will divide it by 7 and subtract it from this. What is I am telling is, remember, while converting this element to 0, you should use only the row containing pivot. You should use only row containing the pivot element. Now it is again difficult for me to do the row operations because the table is not on a single page. Therefore, I will write the entries. You just do with me the calculations. If it was there on a blackboard, it was easy for me to do the calculations. No? But now it is not on one page. It was somewhat difficult to do the calculations. What are the new basic variables? X2, X1 is going to remain as it is. Instead of G1, we will have X3. What is the cost vector? 9, 7. Cost of X3 is 0. Now, what are the CJ entries? 7, 9, 0, 0, 0 as it is. Now, after doing the row operation, shall I write the entries? What for the entry of X1? 1, 0, 0. X2, for X2 it is 1, 0, 0. For X1 it is 0, 1, 0. For X3 this is 0, 0, 1. Only 3 rows are to be, 3 columns are to be calculated. I hope you can do it very well. Because this is 3, this is 4, 4 and 7 I am writing. Integer plus fraction. And here it is 1, 4 and 7. Means how much is the value? 7 4 are
11.
28, 28 plus 4, 32 by 7. No? Not for an entry of X4. X4 is 0, 1 by 7, 1 by 7. And for G1, this is minus 1 by 7, minus 22 by 7. Let me write the value of Z. This was really a nice feature to draw the lines. What is Z now? Z takes a value 59.
59.
Though it is reduced, actually the value in the previous table is 63. Now it is reduced to 59. But we have removed the infeasibility. No? Negative entry in the XB column we have removed. Also, this entry x2, which is not integer in the previous one, was now converted to integer value. Though the value of z reduced, here we have obtained the two achievements. Let me write net evaluations. The net evaluations for the first variables is 0, 0, 0. Here it is 1 and 8. Therefore, again the table is optimal. Values of the variables are feasible, but only x2 is integer value, x1 is not integer still. Therefore, what to do? You have to construct one more Gomorian constraint in order to convert this x1 variable to be integer value. Okay. So here I will write the non-integer solution. Please. It is a non-integer solution. X1 is 4, 4 by 7. Okay, X2 is 0 and Z is 59. Still we have to convert X1 to be integer value. Therefore, what we will do? Shall I write this as step 2? Somewhere here I should write step. No, actually this should be step 3. After solving this, here I should start with step 2 somewhere. I forgot to write actually. This is step 2. Why I am writing this as step 2? Because solving by usual simplex method will be my step 1. Okay. Second step is construction of first Gomorian constraint. Now we will go for third step, constructing the second Gomorian constraint. Right? Now what to do? Which row to be selected? The row corresponding to x1 we want to select, no? Here again two values are non-integer, but if you look at this x3, x3 is not the original variable. So we are not taking a care for x3 to be integer value. It may go with non-integer, but we want x1 to be integer value. Therefore, what we will do? We will select the x1 equation. Select x1 equation. That is second row, no? For converting non-integer value. Is there any use to select a largest fraction now? Hello? Here we are not selecting by largest fraction. Yes?
As we have selected already row, then not necessary to choose a maximum.
No, I have selected row in order because there is no need to select a maximum. Why? Because there are two original variables, right? Which are they? X1, X2. Out of this, X2 is already became integer value. Therefore, the only X1 remain to convert to an integer. Therefore, no need to select a maximum fraction. Because though this x3 variable is having a non-integer value, but we are not interested with x3. We want the original variables to be integer value only. Okay, that's why no need to select a maximum. We can select directly. Now x1 we want to convert. X1 remains only. So let us select x1 equation, that is the second row. If I am selecting this to be a second row, now we will construct the Gomorian constraint. Now we will select the Gomorian constraint. Construct a Gomorian constraint. Let us recall the equation again. Minus fbi is equals to summation j equals to m plus 1 to n fij xj plus gn. Which row we have selected for I? What is value of I? 2, na? Second row we have selected. In the previous step we have selected first row. Now it is second. What is m and n? M is number of basic variables or number of constraints. One and the same thing. How many we have now at this stage? Look at this table. How many basic variable and how many total
3.
variables we have?
3.
Good. 3 basic and total 5, right? No? Yeah, any doubt with this?
Total
No,
5.
ma'am.
And what is FB2? Is it 4 by 7? What is the equation then? Minus FB2 equals to minus summation J equals to 4 to 5 F2J XJ plus G2. Okay, let me evaluate the sum. Therefore, this is F4, oh, F24. Correct, na? F24 x4 minus F25 x5 plus G2 equal to minus FB2. Let me substitute all the values now. Minus FB2 already we know this is minus 4 by 7. What is F24 and F25? F24 and F25 are the fractional parts of x24 and x25. Correct? What are the fractional? What are the number x24 and x25? This is x24. Correct?
1 by 7 minus 1 by 7.
Good. This is 21, 22, 23. This is 24 and 25. But if you look, this 25 is a negative fraction. Therefore, we want to convert this negative fraction to negative integer plus positive fraction. Correct? X24 is equal to 1 by 7. Okay, as it is itself a fraction, 1 by 7 itself a fraction. There is no integer involved. Therefore, this value itself is F24. No problem with this. What for X25? X25 is minus 1 by 7. Now we want to find a positive fractional of X25. Then what the algorithm says? Try to express this negative fraction as negative integer plus positive fraction. How can we do this for this number minus 1 by 7? If I want to write it as minus 1
Minus
plus
4
something.
plus. Minus 4 plus. Minus 6.
Okay. Minus 4 plus. Bhagyashree, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Don't.
सांगा ना minus 4 plus. काहीतरी सांगा होतं ना तुम्ही.
हो मॅम पण ते चुकतं.
2 मिनिटं जाऊ दे. इकडे या. If I want to write x25 as minus 1 plus something, what that something will be?
Minus 1 plus 6 by 7.
Yes, this is minus 1 plus 6 by 7. Now we have expressed this negative integer minus 1 by 7 as negative fraction, negative integer plus positive fraction. Is that okay? Then what is the value of F25?
6 by 7.
6 by 7. Let us substitute the values here. F24 is 1 by 7. Therefore, this is minus 1 by 7 x4. And this is minus 6 by 7 x5 plus G2. Now what to do? Add it in the above simplex table. Add the constraint, add this Gomurian constraint in above simplex table. And solve by dual simplex. Solve by dual simplex method. Okay, let me add it in the previous table. Now it is basic variables. XCD, XD, X1, X2, X3, X4, G1 already added. Now we are adding G2, right? 7, 9. Cost of the remaining variables we are taking 0, 0, 0. Which are the basic variable in the last table? X2, X1 and X3. Let me write the table only first, previous table. Then we will add this entry. X1 is 0, 1, 0. X2 is 1, 0, 0. X3 is 0, 0, 1. That of X4 is 0, 1 by 7, 1 by 7. G1 is 1 minus 1 by 7 minus 22 by 7. Now we will add up this equation. So what is the value of your variable G2? Initial value is it 4 by 7? Minus 4 by 7. Now I am adding G2 with cost 0, value minus 4 by 7. Na? What is the variable x1, x2, x3, x4? x1, x2, x3 0 na? In this constraint. Coefficient of x1, x2, x3 0. Coefficient of x4, x5 exists minus 1 by 7 and minus 6 by 7. So here I will write 0, 0, 0 minus 1 by 7 and minus 6 by 7. Then what for G2? What is the coefficient of G2 in first three equations?
0.
0. And this entry is 1. Now we will calculate the remaining parts. Now what are the net evaluations as well? The net evaluations are very similar to the net evaluations of the previous table only. Z found at this stage is again 59. Net evaluations for the first three will be 0. Surely for G2 also it is 0. For X4 it is 1 and for G1 it is 8, no? And the net I think is 1 and 8. Now let us apply dual simplex. What dual simplex tells us? First select the outgoing variable. What is the outgoing variable in this? Values of first three variables are non-negative. The only value with negative entry is G2. Therefore, this will be the outgoing variable. Now it remains to select incoming variable. Here I will write directly here G2 is equal to minus 4 by 7 is an outgoing variable. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what is the next point? To select incoming vector or variable. Fourth row is being selected. Look at the two entries. There are only two negative entries. Therefore, delta upon the corresponding negative entries. Now, what is R here then?
4.
4. R is equal to 4. Fourth variable is the basis. So, delta K upon X4K. Formula is maximum delta J upon X4J provided X4J less than 0. Only two entries we have which are negative. Therefore, let me write the corresponding ratios. What is the corresponding ratio? What is the position 4? 4, no? Is delta 4. Delta 4 upon X 4 4 and delta 5 upon x 4 5. Correct? 1 upon minus 1 by 7, 8 upon minus 6 by 7. 1 upon minus 1 by 7, 8 upon minus 6 by 7. How much are the values? First is minus 7. What for second? 56 by 6 something, na?
minus 28 upon 3.
Yeah, it's minus 28. What is the maximum? Minus 7. And which corresponds to delta 4 upon x 4. What is the value of k? 4. That is fourth variable. What is the fourth variable? x4, na? x4 will enter the basis. Check what is the pivot then. This variable is entering the basis. This is leaving the basis. Therefore, this one will be a pivot. Correct? Minus 1 upon 7 will be the corresponding pivot element. Now, we have to convert this pivot to unity, remaining entries to 0. Now, again, I am going to write all the entries directly. Basic variables will be x2, x1, x3, x4. Cost will be 9700. Values of the basic variable is 3, 4, 1, 4. x1 is 0, 1, 0, 0. x2 1, 0. 1, 0, 0, 0. x3 0, 0, 1, 0. x4 this. Now g1 1 minus 1 minus 4 6 0 1 1 minus 7, and the delta entries are for the first variable node out 0 0, and for g1 g2 this is 2 and 7, and the value of z is 55. Now this is what the table obtained by using the row operations for converting pivot to unity, remaining entries to 0. And if we look at this table, see all xb entries are integer valued. Therefore, this is the required integer solution. Whether the solution is feasible and optimal. Yes.
Yes,
How can you
Yes,
understand it is optimal? All delta
And all
j's are
K
non-negative.
delta G's are
non-negative.
positive, non-negative.
Good. Non-negative. XB entries are non-negative. Therefore, this solution is optimal integer basic feasible solution. Okay. Thus, the required optimum integer basic feasible solution is, what the solution is, x1 4, x2 3, na? x1 4, x2 3 with z is equals to 55, and hence this is the solution. Check whether you have any difficulty with the construction of a Gomorian constant. If you have any difficulty, you please unmute yourself and ask. This is what by formula, a construction of Gomorian constant I told you. Okay, now next example you will take with the shortcut method. Yes, any doubt? Construction of Gomorian concept. See how many tables we have constructed. I think three tables for simplex method, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
3 to 4 here we have constructed. Let us check the number of tables.
4 for
Somewhat lengthy method. Huh? तीन सिम्प्लेक्स मेथडला गेले 1 2 3 4
total 7.
7 table enough. If any entry in the 7 of table will go wrong, single entry, it will just collapse into the whole solution. Right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Understood? Or any difficulty anyway?
No, ma'am.
So we take one more example then. Shortcut method.
Yes, ma'am.
I think one example I have given you again for
Yes, ma'am.
solving. You just tell me the same example. We will start with that example. I hope you have solved it by simplex method.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it x1 plus 2x2?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
x1 plus 2x2 subject to the constraint 2x2 less than or equals to 7. x1 plus x2 less than or equals to 7. 2x1 less than or equals to 11. x1, x2 greater or equal by 0 and are integers. Now one thing you have to take care while giving the example here, and are integers means all the values of the variable are integer. But sometimes it was given with only one variable to be integer. That is in first example say, initially we have converted x2 to be integer value. If in the problem it was only x2 to convert as an integer, no need to do that next step, no? But we have to take care what is given in the example itself. If all the values of the variable are integer value, then this is the case of all IPT. If it is only one or some of the variables are asked to be integer value, this is the case of mixed IPT. Method of solving is the same. लक्षात येते का? समजा फक्त एक व्हेरिएबल, आता समजा या एक्झाम्पलला x1 एकच इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू विचारले, तर काय करणार? x1 चा थ्रो सिलेक्ट करायचा, एकच गोमोरियन कन्स्ट्रेंट ऍड करायचा आणि स्टॉप द प्रोसेस. करेक्ट?
Yes, ma'am.
This one you have solved, no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now you tell me the table. x1, x2 original, 3 added necessary, na? x3, x4 and x5. Cost of these variables is 1, 2, 0, 0, 0. Now you tell me the table please. What are the basic variables?
X2, X1, X5.
x2,
X1, X5.
x2, x1, x5. Cost is 2, 1 I think. 2, 1, 0. Now what is the value of the variables?
7 by 2, 7 by 2, 4.
7 by 2, 4. x1 is 0, 1, 0, na? x2 is
Yes.
1, 0, 0. x5 is 0, 0, 1. You tell me these 20s. x3,
1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, 0.
x4,
0, 1, 0.
0, 1.
0.
Check in the book it is -2.
Ma'am, x3 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 1 and x4 0 1 minus 2. 1 by
Check
2
and
minus
please. I
1
think
by 2
Tony has told you this.
1 1.
Yes, ma'am. I'm check.
You check again, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
These are the correct, I think. Bhagesh, na?
Ma'am,
What is the value of Z?
21 upon 2.
Net evaluations are 0,
0
0,
1 by 2
0 for these. And what for X3?
1 by 2 1 upon 2
X4? X4?
1 1.
This is the optimal simplex table obtained by solving usual simplex method. Now we are ready to solve by the Morris cutting plane method. If we observe the XB column, whether the solutions are integer value? No, it is not. Both the values are not integer one. Therefore, we have to solve by the Morris cutting plane algorithm. If both the values are 7.5, 7.5 means 7 by 2 means 3.5 and 3.5. Therefore, again, though we select the maximum fractional among the XBI, both the fractionals are 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 itself, right? Now, both the fractionals are same. Therefore, one can select any row for selecting for converting the for constructing the dual Gromorian construct. Okay. Just wait for a second. What we were going to select, this is select maximum FDI. Okay, therefore this is FDK equal to maximum FDI. How many FDIs we have? Only two are having fractional. No, this third one is integer. Therefore, is it FB1 and FB2 only?
Yes, ma'am.
This is half and half, no? Because both the values are 7.5. 7.5 means 3 plus half and 3 plus. Therefore, both the values are same. Therefore, here one can select any equation for the construction. Here, let us select first row. Okay, first row means again I equals to 1. Na? Both the fractions is having same value. So one can select by. Now, what I am going to show you by a shortcut method how to construct a row. As we have selected the first row. Okay. Now, we will write down the Gromori's equation as fractional part of this XB with negative sign equal to fractional part of every entry into the corresponding variable. What I am trying to say, fractional part of every entry into the corresponding variables. That is, okay, let us start. What is XB value? 7 upon 2. What is the fractional part?
1 by 2.
minus half.
With negative we have to write now because this is minus FBI equal to. Now what is the fractional part of the 0? 0?
Yes, ma'am.
Negative with negative. 0 extra. Minus. Fractional part of 1? 0. Fractional part of x3 into x3. Fractional part into the corresponding variable. This we have to write. No doubt with negative symbol. Again, this is minus 0 x4 minus 0 x5 plus the Gromorian variable g1. Therefore, what is my Gromorian constant? Minus half equal to minus half x3 plus g1. Getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
मॅम ते अजून एकदा रिपीट करा ना प्लीज.
Okay. Construct Gromorian constraint. No doubt we have selected first row now for the construction of Gomorian constant. Now what we are going to do? We are going to construct the Gomorian constant with a shortcut method as, see, let me write it here with a red color pen so that the idea is very clear. X1, X2, X3, X4 and X5. And the XB entry is 7 upon 2. The values of the entries are, let me write the first four entries 0, 1, 1 by 2, 0 and 0. While writing the Gomorian constant, what we will write is, the equation is actually minus FB1 equal to summation J Fij Xj plus Gi. As B equal to 1 I have selected, this is 1. FB1 I have selected. Now to write this, what we will write? The fractional part of this XB, this is minus half equal to, what is the fractional part of XB? Minus half. Then we are writing minus half equal to negative of fractional part of this number into X1. What is the fractional part of this number? 0, 0, no? Because this is the integer. Okay, therefore the term will be minus 0 x1. Next, fractional part of this 1 into x2. What is the fractional part? 0. Again, fractional part of this number into x3 with negative sign, no doubt, minus half x3. Fractional part of 0 into x4. Fractional part of 0 into x5. Added with G1. And this is whole thing is equals to negative fractional part of this number, that is minus half. This is your first constant. This is your first constant. So what is the constant equation? Minus half equal to minus 1 by 2 x3 plus G1. This is your first Gomorian constant. Understood or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I
Thank
show
you,
this with the formula also? Formula ने बघायचं का त्याचं का? Let us check by formula. हे चालू पाहिजे. Let us check by formula. I'll take 10 more minutes. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Here I is equal to 1. Number of basic variables 3. Number of total variables 5, na? And FB1 is half. Let us put all the values so that it is FB1 minus summation j equals to 4 to 5 minus F I is 1 F1j xj plus G1. Alright. 4 minus half equal to minus F14 x4 minus F15 x5 plus G1. Right? Then this is minus half equal to, what is F14 and F15?
Zero.
1, 3. One three one four it is showing. Let me just check. One three one four two three. we are doing some mistake. 1415. 1415 or 00. No? Number of basic variables 3. Number of total variables is 5. This is going to create some trouble. Equation is correct actually. Okay, we'll start with the equation. I will show this. I will show this part later. Okay. Then let me just add up this constraint, Gomorian constraint in the table. So what will be the table then? I'll just tell you the part later. What is the table? Basic variable CD, XB, X1, X2, X3, X4, X5 and G1. The variables are X2, X1, X5, added is G1. First is 2100. XB entries are 7.3, 7.2 and 4. This is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. X4 is X3 is showing half minus half and left. X3 का हेड पिन करना है. It is X3 half minus half and 1. X4 is 0, 1 minus 2. X5 is 0, 0, 1. Now we will add the equation. Equation is minus half X3. Therefore all the rest entries are 0. Here the entry is minus half. All the rest entries in the row is 0. Only for this minus X3 we have minus half. All the rest entries are 0. G1 vector will be 0, 0, 1. The Z value is no doubt same, 21 upon 2. Native valuations are 0, 0. For X3 it is half. Here it is 0, 0 and for X4 it is 1. And here it is 0. Native value and entries are 1, 2, 0, 0, 0. Now again applying dual simplex, this will be my outgoing vector. Which one will be the incoming? We have to look at the row. We have to select a negative entry. We have only one negative entry here. Okay. Which entry is negative? In this fourth row, only one negative entry we have. Therefore, the ratio will be half upon minus half. Only one we have. Therefore, this variable is going to enter the basis. This variable is going to enter the basis. Therefore, which one will be my pivot element?
Minus half.
This one is pivot element. Now use the row operations. I will write the table, next table, converted table directly. The converted table entries are basic variables CB, XB, X1, X2, X3, X4, X5 and G1. Basic variables are X2, X1, X5 and X3. Cost is 2, 1. And the XB entries are 3, 4, 3, 1. Here if you observe, both the entries of the original variable becomes integer value. X1 is 0, 1, 0, 0. X2 is 1, 0, 0, 0. X5 3. X4 is 0, 1, minus 2, 0. G1 is 1, minus 1, 2, minus 2. Z is 10. Native valuations are 0, 0, 0 for the basic variable. 1, 1 for the non-basic variable. And here if we observe, the solution is feasible, integer valued, all delta J's are non-negative, hence it is the optimum. Thus, optimum integer basic feasible solution is. What is the solution? X1 is 4, X2 is 3, and Z is 10. This is what the solution is. Okay. This last point I'll just check and I will tell you later. Okay, by formula. Okay, let it stop for today. If you have any difficulties, you can ask me, please. I think shortcut method is easy, no? Fractional
ma'am.
into variable, fractional into variable. But you should not forget that negative sign. Means it is minus half equal to fractional negative fraction into x1, negative fraction into the variable like this. You have to write. Okay. Though the method looks lengthy, but it is not difficult. If you just go through this, okay. Any difficulty you can ask. If not, we will stop for today. Thank you for being with me.